Hey, it's Funky J. What's going on, guys? So I have one last movie, and I keep saying one last movie, but I'm pretty sure this is it. In Defense of series, and that's Garfield. Garfield is one of those movies that every nostalgia guy tends to hate. When I say nostalgia guy, I mean like people maybe like 25 years old and up, basically kids of the 90s, teens of the 90s, tweens of the 90s, just whatever. They hate this movie, and I don't know why. Because honestly, it's a good movie. I love Garfield. Garfield was one of the first, like, really edgy, kind of, sarcastic asshole cartoon characters. I believe his comic strip was actually created in the late 70s, so he's been around for many decades now, but he kind of evolved through time. I remember seeing early comic book sketches of him, and he looked way different. He looked like hilarious. He was really like ugly. The creator Jim Davis, I guess he just decided to change up his image to make him more, I guess, lovable or whatever. But yeah, I mean, Garfield is amazing. I remember being a kid loving the comics. I had like one of those books just filled with comics, and I would read them on my bed, really enjoying that. It was a lot of fun, and I'll admit I never really read like Superman comics. I never read, X-Men when I was a kid. I just loved kid like comedy comics, like Garfield. What else did I have? God, it was a lot of Garfield. Calvin and Hobbes. Yeah, I love Garfield and Calvin and Hobbes. Calvin and Hobbes is fucking awesome. If you're not aware of who they are, it's a great comic strip. Definitely check that out. Funny thing about Calvin and Hobbes, though, and I'm sorry to get on a rant, but they never had like a cartoon or a movie or anything. It's one of the few things I know of that never really got, never changed, outside of being a comic. I mean, I would have loved a Calvin and Hobbes cartoon. Like, are you kidding me? That would have been awesome. But at least I did have a Garfield cartoon back in the 90s. It was called Garfield and Friends. And it was cheesy because it was from the 90s. And everything from the 90s is 90% cheese. But it was awesome, and I loved it. There were a lot of, like, different cartoons in that cartoon, if that makes sense. Like, I guess mini cartoons of different characters. I just remember there was this one of these farm animals. There was this character called Wade the Duck, and he was just like so paranoid, and he'd walk around with a floaty around his waist, and he was just like afraid he was gonna drown. I love that character. And then there was like an egg called Sheldon, and he was just like an egg with legs, just walking around. The cartoon was pretty trippy, but anyways, God, sorry to go on the Garfield rant. Let's just go ahead and talk about the movie real quick. What's great about the movie is there's no like real try hard bullshit. It's just a simple plot. It's basically the beginning, of Garfield. In the movie, they even introduce Odie as a new character. So it's basically like, yeah, just kind of like the beginning, I guess you could say, the origins of Garfield. And so there's a lot of, simple, enjoyable moments in it. And basically, though, the plot twist is that Odie gets lost and Garfield tries to find him, which is cool because, they hate each other, but, he wants to find him and all that good stuff. But, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. And, of course, they find them. But, yeah, anyways, it's kind of like Homeward Bound, if you guys know that movie. Or it's a lot like Secret Life of Pets, except that they get kidnapped by this guy who wants to make them into models, cat models, whatever. It's kind of disturbing, actually, but yeah, anyways, it's a good movie, man. And I haven't seen the sequel. I know they made another one, but it's anyone can enjoy the movie. You know, whether you're a kid, an adult, 2 days away from croaking, you know, anybody. It doesn't matter. So I highly recommend this movie. And guys, listen, this is my advice to all of you, okay? Stop walking around with such a tight asshole. All you nostalgia guys, seriously, like, you gotta learn to move on, dude. And I'm not trying to be a dickhead, but, you know, the 90s are over. It's time to just accept that. There's an old Buddhist saying that things cannot evolve unless they change. And while this movie, you know, it was in CGI, well, Garfield was in CGI. By the way, he was voiced by Bill Murray. I forgot to mention that's fucking epic. But, you know, it was still Garfield. Like, they didn't change it enough to where it was something else. It was still Garfield. You can still enjoy it. That's all I really got to say, guys. And also, I did a review in defense of Scooby-Doo, the movie. Definitely check that out, because that movie was good too, and a lot of people shit on it. So those two are definitely great movies. I think Scooby-Doo is still streaming on Netflix, so yeah, check that out. 1 and 2, both great movies. Second one, hilarious. Just the ending, I'm not going to give it away, but it has to do with Scrappy Doo. Anyways, guys, this is Punky J. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.